So what is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel once again. You know I appreciate having you here. Stick around for today's video. I've been down to Doble's. My boys down at Doble's have hooked me up with another bike. It's another first impressions ride, and it's all about this little beauty, the classy Honda VFR800. Right, so here we are on a glorious day. What a great day to do a test ride. I'm in my element here, and I'm on this little beauty, the VFR800. It's a bike that I've loved over the years, yet I've never ridden one. I don't think I've even sat on one. But it's one of those bikes that I've always liked. I've always thought it was really nicely put together, a classy kind of bike. But being tall, these sort of bikes, they always kind of put me off because I'm a little bit cramped on it, and that is true for this. I am a little bit cramped, not as bad as when I was on the Fireblade, but it's still pushing me over the front in a slightly sporty manner. And I suppose I should explain why it's like that. A little bit about myself: 6'2", 16 stone, a little bit wide in the shoulder, long in the legs. There you go, that covers that. And that's just so you know how I get to the conclusion that I get to when it comes to ergonomics on a motorcycle. I like it. I love the sound of this engine. It's a V4 VTEC. Now I know what the V4 means, but the VTEC, I'm not sure exactly how it works. I know it works in stages. Well, she's certainly quick enough. I wouldn't call it electric. It's not like when I was on the Fireblade. It doesn't throw you back in the seat. It's very, very progressive. It just sort of like picks up and goes. But you've got to remember, this is a sports tourer. This is not a sport bike. This is for going out, having a little bit of a blast, and then filling it up with luggage and crossing continents. That's what this bike's about. And I can see it doing that quite easily. Right now, leg position is not bad. They're tucked behind you. They're not full on sports, but they are quite high. It is nice. It is quite comfortable for the legs. As I said, although I've got long legs, they do fit really, really well. The place I'm struggling is with the wrists, and that's because I ride adventure motorcycles. So for me to be crouched over like this, it does put a little bit of pressure on my wrists. Now, Honda do an official accessory that rises the bars up slightly, so that can be remedied by bringing the bars up just ever so slightly, and maybe that'll take the pressure off my wrist. I'm sure if I had this bike for any length of time that I would get used to it. With most bikes, you kind of get used to them. You get used to their quirks, their ergonomics, and you just learn to live with them. I mean, sitting here now, fourth gear, I'm at 4,000 revs, 43 miles an hour, and it's smooth. This engine is really smooth, and it sounds, oh, the sound is to die for. It's one of the best sounding engines in my opinion, the V4. It just sounds beautiful. It's a little bit muted with these standard exhaust cans on, but it does sound good. It's got a nice deep rumble to it. When you get it up into the rev range where the VTEC sort of like does its thing, it's addictive. I feel good on this bike. It feels classy. It really feels classy. This paint finish is delicious. Sounds weird, doesn't it? Like I'm gonna lick it. Do you know what? I like it that much. I might actually lick it at some point. You never know. Stranger things have happened. I do like the colour of this because it matches the wheels. The wheels are exactly the same colour as this. And it's little touches like that I like. Oh, that VTEC sounds sweet. Anything below 7,000 revs and it is really, really smooth. It's just a nice smooth bike. It's really controlled. It's just smooth, basically. I think you get what I mean. But then when you hit 7,000 revs, the VTEC kicks in. It does whatever it does. It works its magic, and it just barks. It opens up. It gives you a little bit more zap. But the sound, if this had aftermarket cans on, it would be addictive. It growls. Handles really, really nicely. So easy to get on with. Just floats through the corners. It's a wonderful machine. This really is a nice bike. Right, so let's throw it in Box Hill car park and we'll have a little bit of a look round. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Honda VFR800, and she is stunning. Once again, remember, these are my opinions. That's what these videos are about. They're my opinions. Anyway, let's crack on. Thank you very much again to Doble Motorcycles for giving me this bike to do this review on. If you're down in Coulsdon, go and check them out. I shall leave the link to their website below. I shall also leave the link for the specifications for this bike below as well, so go and check those out. Right, we're going to have a little bit of a look round. We're going to do the tyres, a little bit about the engine and the things I like about it, some of the cool things about it. It's a good looking bike. Some people don't like this. I don't know why. I think it's one of the best looking bikes on the market. I like class, I like sophistication, and that's what this bike is. It's classy and sophisticated. Anyway, let's crack on with the wheels. On the front, 17-inch wheel, a 120/70/17 on there, and on the rear we've got a 180/55/17 on the rear. It has Dunlop tyres on it. They're Sport Max tyres, D222s, and on the way up here I can vouch for them. They're pretty good. It is a hot day, and obviously the hotter it is, the more kind of slick the tyres get, but it gripped really well on the way up here. Very impressed with those. Twin discs on the front, ABS as standard, Showa forks, Takiko brakes. On the rear it's got a single-sided swing arm. I do like a single side swing arm. Single disc in the middle there, again ABS. Suspension on the back is fully adjustable via this knob here, and on the front it's also adjustable by twiddling with these. Let's have a quick look at the lights. Right, LEDs on the front, they light up both sides, which I like. I like a twin light. If you've got twin lights, light them up both sides. You've got the indicators on the mirrors, and you've also got these little running light LEDs on the side there. On the rear, LEDs as well. You've got the LED brake light and the LED normal light. I'm not sure if these are bulbs. Let's just have a quick look on the indicator side of things. They're bulbs. Now, I wouldn't have expected that. Not keen on that. I much prefer LEDs. I mean, they still work, they flash, they do the job, but I would like to see LEDs on it. Let's have a quick look at the front. That's a bulb as well. You've got LEDs here and a bulb. Don't understand that, but they flash. All right, let's have a little look down here. The engine's a V4, and it sounds, if you could hear that on the way up here, it sounds absolutely stunning. You've got the radiators tucked up in here. It's slightly different to the model before this. The model before had the exhaust coming out under the seat. I think it looks hideous that way. It looks much better like this. And they moved some of the stuff around, so the radiators were tucked, so it's a bit slimmer, a bit more manageable than the last one. All in all, it's a stunning looking bike. It really is a nice looking bike. And with this exhaust, because it's a single-sided swing arm, if you whip that off and put a nice little small one on there, you open it up and you can see that lovely back wheel. And of course it'll sound much better with an aftermarket exhaust on, because it's got such a lovely growl, such a deep kind of vibe to it, if that's a thing. But it just, when you get to that 7,000 revs and it barks, you want to hear it through this. You really do want to hear it through this. Seat-wise, is very comfortable. I really like it. It's quite plush. It's not like a sports bike where it's just a little plank. It's pretty good. Pillion seat's pretty good. You've got some good grab handles for the pillion. Pillion pegs are just the normal Honda little metal ones on the back. And if you're wondering what this is, it's kind of weird if you don't know, but what this bike has is you can get luggage for it, and the luggage just clips in there. It goes onto there. That looks a bit sexual then. I know I like the bike, but I didn't really want to go that far. Yeah, basically, I'll get back to the point now. Put your luggage on there, and it sort of like slides on there, and it keeps it all in place, so you can go away for the weekend. But if you want to have a play, you just take it all off, and then the bike looks like this. I mean, there's none of that ugly sort of like framework that you get with some luggage systems. That is pretty good. At the rear, it is weird. It's quite bulky. These stick out quite a bit, but when you imagine this is a sports tourer, so 9 times out of 10 when you're going away, it's going to have that luggage on, so you kind of want big indicators on the back. It does make sense if you're carrying luggage around with you. Let's have a little look under the seat. Right under the seat, you've got a toolkit. You've got quite a bit of space. It's not really a manageable space because it's a bit broken up with stuff, but you can get stuff under there. You can get your wallet and everything in there. I don't know whether you'd want to put it down there because it might just fall down there. You might want to kind of stick it under here, just use this space. And also under the seat you've got these little tie down straps, so you can put a tail pack on there, clip it to these, and the base unit will stay on your seat. That might also be for the rear seat cowl. I'm not sure how that attaches. You can get a rear seat cowl for this, and it looks really good. The seat on this has been adjusted. It adjusts up and down. This is on its highest setting. I've been told it's 15 millimeters each way, so up or down. So if it's down, it just sit on this bit here. But it's pretty good for me. I prefer it higher, obviously being taller. Round this side is all your normal stuff. You have got a center stand as standard on this, which is kind of cool. And you've got this here which adjusts the suspension. Nice and easy, you just twiddle around with that. It is a single-sided swing arm, so your chain and sprocket are on this side. It's a lovely configuration of the swing arm, and the brake disc is on the inside of the wheel. The only other thing on this side that is different is you've got a 12-volt charger in the fairing here, which is always handy. I think all bikes should come with a 12-volt charger. Right, so let's go through the handlebars, then I will go through the dashboard with you. Let's turn it off again. Right, so on this side you've got a clutch lever which is fully adjustable. You've got this little button here which is a heated handlebar grip, so it comes as standard, so it's linked to the dashboard here. If I press it, it tells you here it's a 5-stage one. So if I turn it on first, it's on 5, and then you go 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't know why I'm telling you how to count down. I think you know that. But that's basically heated grips. Don't really need that today. You've got a push to pass button here, which will show up here that you're flashing. You've got your full beams, your normal beams, you've got your hooter, and you've got your indicators down here. Now up here you've got a traction control system, and it is very simple. It's either on or off. That is it. There's no stages to it. It's on or off. You can see it's there. That will go off, I think it's at 5 miles an hour, the same as the ABS. That light will go off when you get moving. To turn it off, you just hold it down, and that extra one lights up down there, telling you that there's a cross through it, so therefore it's not on. Hold it again and it turns it back on. Over this side, brake lever, fully adjustable again. You've got your kill switch, you've got your hazard warning lights and your engine start there, and your throttle, of course. Right, onto the dashboard. On the left side you've got a fuel gauge, you've got your speedometer there, you've got an indicator light there. Up here you've got oil warning light. I don't know what else is in here. I'm trying to see, the sun's on it. You've got a full beam light, and there's another little light in there. It's probably something to do with the VTEC. In the middle you've got a rev counter with the ABS light and the neutral light. The ABS light will go off at 5 miles an hour. And on this side you've got your total miles, you've got your air temperature, which is telling me it's 43 degrees. Wow, no wonder I'm warm. And underneath you've got a clock. You can adjust some of the things on here with these little buttons here. If you press the left one here, it adjusts where it says miles at the top. It's on 109 at the moment. Press that, it goes trip A, and then trip B, and then trip, and it doesn't say anything. Trip what? I don't know. Trip over. And then you press it again and it's back to miles. Down here, that's controlled by this one. You've got your air temperature. Then that goes to miles per litre, and that is what you're doing on the fly as you're going along. I haven't played around with this. I haven't set it back to 0 when I started, so this is whatever the bike's done since it's last been reset. And then you got average is 31 miles. I can't even see what it goes because I've got the sun on it. I can't really see, but it says average 31, so 31 is the average of something. And then you got engine temperature, which is 82, and then back to air temperature. That's about it for the dashboard. I do like it. It's nice and simple. It's really, I was going to say, it's really clear to read. This side is not so clear with the sun on it, but this side, which is the important one, is you got the miles per hour, and you can see the rev counter really clear. That's the important side. This is just sort of like just for information. So if you want to see that, you can get into a position, you can. But where I am now, the sun is shining directly on it, so it's a little bit harder to read. Mirrors, they don't fold up. It would be nice if they did. It's not a deal breaker, but it just would be nice for when you're filtering through traffic. Sometimes you just want to pop them up a little bit. They are very easy to adjust though, just by playing around with these. You just grab this and just move it a little bit, and it's pretty simple. There's not really a lot else I can tell you about the bike. It's got a Honda security system on as standard. It's just basically a lovely bike. Right, so that's a walk around done. Let's take it for a little bit of a spin, and what I'm going to do is take it down some country lanes. I'm going to take it out of its comfort zone. The road I'm going to go down is very bumpy, so it will give me an idea of how the suspension handles these little back road, these country lanes. I like to test ride bikes on roads that I like to ride, because although I'm doing this for you guys and YouTube, I'm always interested in, would I buy this bike and does it suit the roads I like to ride on? Those of you that watch my videos regularly will know that I like this road a little bit. It's gravelly, it's bumpy, it's narrow, it's fun. Does handle the bumps quite well. I mean, this is an extremely bumpy road. I thought he was going to move over more than that. He didn't. And it soaks them up quite well. I mean, it's not limousine quality, but considering this is on the sporty side of touring, it is pretty good. Keep really tight to this hedge. It has surprised me at how well it handled that road. I was expecting it to jump around a lot more than it did. It felt completely planted. I mean, you could feel the bumps. It was not skitting, that's the wrong word. It wasn't skitting about. You could feel sort of like the undulations. You could feel it hitting every bump, but not at any point did it feel out of shape. On that bark is addictive. Now I've been on the bike for a little while, my wrists are not as bad. They still ache a little bit, but they're not as bad. I am getting used to this. I'm growing into the bike. The bike is starting to mold itself to me. It's literally starting to grow on me. Right, so let's do the conclusion. Let's sum this bike up. Let's start with the looks. Looks to me, and I know looks are subjective, but looks to me are spectacular. I absolutely love the look of this bike. I think it looks so classy, so sophisticated. It's a beautiful looking bike. Ergonomics, I've got used to it. My arms are still aching a little bit, not too bad. And as I said before, you can get official Honda bar risers, so to bring it up a little bit, and that'll take some of the weight off my wrists. Foot position wise, it's pretty good. I really like it. I don't feel uncomfortable. I haven't got cramp in the hips or anything like that, so that is spot on. Suspension is pretty good. It smooths out the bumps. Obviously it's a little bit stiff because it's a sports tourer, but it's not crashy. It doesn't bang around. It irons out the bumps quite nice. If the road's smooth and the bumps are sort of like not juttery, then it's really, really smooth. When it gets really bumpy, you can feel it, but it doesn't put the bike off. It doesn't sort of like upset the handling or anything like that. Mirrors pretty good. I can see a lot of my elbows, but they're not hard to get out the way to look behind me, and they've got quite a good bit of adjustment on there. Fit and finish, spot on. This is a really, really well made bike. Right now the main thing is the engine. The engine is adorable. I want to marry this engine. I'm going to go home, tell the wife I'm leaving her, and I'm moving in with this engine. I love it. I'd love it even more with an aftermarket exhaust on, but I still love it. I love the fact that you've got two kind of bits to your rev range. I love the fact that it's very, very smooth low down in the rev range, and then when you get to that 7,000 revs, it comes alive. It just goes absolutely crazy, and I don't mean in the sense of power. It's not going to frighten you. It's just the noise. It suddenly gets really angry, and I love that. I like that a lot. Handling wise, it's better than I thought it was going to be. I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't think it would feel this agile, because I've got in my mind it's a sports tourer. I kind of get that tourer bit in my mind more than the sports, but I can throw it around. I find it very easy to throw from side to side. I've not got a problem with doing that at all. Wind protection, it's not too bad, to be honest. I was expecting a lot of buffeting because where the windscreen is, but it's kind of smooth and it hits me just at the right point of the crash helmet where I get no buffeting at all. I've had bikes with bigger screens that have had less wind protection. The whole front end, the whole fairing does a really good job of keeping the air off, and when I go faster I can tuck right down. On a lot of sports bikes I can't actually get down behind the screen, but because the seat's got quite a bit of wiggle room, I can move right back and I can tuck down right under the screen, so the wind goes right over my helmet at higher speed. So it does a really good job. So the big question is, and the question that I end all my videos with, is would I buy one? You knew I was going to say this, but yes, what I need to do is win so much money, it's unreal. The more bikes I ride, the more bikes I realise I like, and this is another one I would quite happily put in my collection. Oh, it's been a beautiful day for a test ride, and I've fallen in love with the VFR800. So on that note, I'm going to end the video. This bike is stupendous. I love it. I even like it in silver. I mean, law says you have to get this in red, but this silver with the metallic in it is beautiful in this sunshine. So I'd be tempted to go for the silver, to be honest. Once again, thank you very much to Doble's Motorcycles for letting me use this bike for this video. Really appreciate it. If you're down in Causton, go and check them out. Once again, the link for their shop will be in the description box below, and also the link to the specifications on this motorcycle will be down there as well. So go and check them out. And remember, if you see Ian, who is the salesman, he really loves hugs. Go up to him, give him a big squeezy hug from me. So that just leaves me to say, don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, to do all those things that you need to do. Thank you very much for watching. I shall see you on the next one. I love you all. Stay safe. Fish out.
Get all your bags, get out my house. I don't want your stuff around. I never did you wrong, but you did me wrong. So go ahead, get gone. Get all your bags, get out my house. I don't want your stuff around. I never did you wrong, but you did me wrong. So go ahead and get